Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. This is a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. The most important news and editorial of the day that is relevant for both prelims and mains examination perspective of civil services will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 19th of October. The first important news, center hike MSP for 6 rabi crop. We'll see the detail in the hike. Second, Supreme Court asked government to develop module on drugs abuse. The cases has been increasing in the recent time. We'll see the detail about the cases reported. Third, Tamil Nadu urged center not to implement language panel report. Fourth, 6 spider species discovered across the country. And the last is an editorial making of a Sabka Vikas. So this is all for inclusive development for all. We'll see the detail about this editorial, which gives you an insight about the inclusive development and the direct benefit transfer. Apart from the news and editorial, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further delay, let's get started. And before I start this session, those of you who are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do not forget to press a like button. The first news of the day, that is center hike MSP of 6 rabi crop, something important for General Studies paper 2 under the subtopic issues related to direct and indirect farm subsidies, minimum support price and public distribution system. So the Union Cabinet has recently approved the minimum support price, also known as MSP, for the rabi crop, which include the wheat and mustard. Right? So the decision was taken by the Cabinet Committee on Economy Affairs, which is headed by the Prime Minister. So it decided to hike the MSP for wheat by 110 rupees per quintal, right? And mustard by 400 rupees per quintal for the rabi marketing season. This is for 2023 and 24. The government has increased the minimum support price for lentils also by 500 rupees. This is the highest among all the crops of the MSP that was increased by the Cabinet Committee on Economy Affairs. Now, the hike in the MSP of wheat and mustard has witnessed twofold increase in return to the cost of productions. Now, the estimated cost for the productions, what is estimated for the cost of production? The cost of production is estimated after factoring the cost that is incurred by the farmer. सपोज अगर फार्मर ने जितनी भी अपनी एक्सपेंसेस लगाई हैं उसे कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शंस में काउंट करते हैं विच इंक्लूड द लेबर सीड्स fertilizers, working capital and other things. So these things form together the cost of production for a farmer. Now the government, that is the union budget, has announced MSP, the price at which the government procure the crops from the farmer, which is aligned to the level at least 1.5 times. तो बजट में ऑलरेडी डिक्लेरेशन दे दी गई थी कि 1.5 टाइम्स से हायर सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट प्रोक्योर करेगी, राइट. पैन इंडिया, दिस इज वेटेड एवरेज कॉस्ट ऑफ द प्रोडक्शंस in order for a fairly the remuneration that is given to the farmers, right? Now, talking about the details of the MSP hike, we'll see the detail about the specific hike that was done for the particular crop. So the MSP for the wheat was increased from 2015 for like 2015 rupees per quintal, and now it is 2125 per quintal, right? This is for the session 2022, 2023 and 24. Similarly, MSP for the mustard, that has increased from rupees 5,050 to 54,050 rupees, right? So this is again a price for this particular session, that is for 2023 and 24. Talking about barley and gram, this has increased by 100 rupees per quintal and 105 rupees quintal, and the total value is 1735 for barley, and for gram it is 5,335 rupees, right? This value is not important for your examination purpose. आपसे कभी भी ये value ना mains में पूछी जाएगी ना कि prelims में पूछी जाएगी, but you need to know what is the trend that government is following. Now the MSP for the lentils is 5,500 per quintal and now increased to 6,000 per quintal. This is the highest among the crops. And MSP for the sunflower has also increased from like 209 rupees per quintal बढ़ाई गई है. The total value will be 5,650 rupees per quintal, right? So these are the details about the MSP hike which was taken by the Cabinet Committee on Economy Affairs, which is headed by the Prime Minister himself. Now, about MSP, what is minimum support price? MSP is the rate at which government purchase from the farmer. It is based on the calculation at least 1.5 times cost, which is higher than the cost of production. मैंने आपको बताई cost of productions क्या होती हैं, जो सारी चीज़ें farmer के expenses में, even fertilizers, cost of labors, all things are involved in the cost of productions. MSP is basically a minimum price for a crop which government consider for the remuneration to the farmers and hence deserve as a support. Now, talking about the crops, basically student and aspirants tend to confuse between the Kharif and Rabi crops. So just to give you an idea, you can take the screenshot of this to have a better revision. In Kharif, there are paddy, maize, bajra and jowar. So these are the main Kharif crops. Talking about the Rabi crops, which government has recently released the MSP. This was for the Rabi crops that include wheat, barley, peas and grams. These are the main crops which include Rabi and other crops including the Kharif. And there's a commission called CACP, that is the Commission for Agriculture Cost and Price, that gave recommendations to the government about the MSP. So the Commission for Agriculture Cost and Prices is an attached office of the Ministry of Agriculture and Farm Welfare, Government of India. It came into existence in 1965. It's an advisory body whose recommendations are not binding on the government. It suggests the government the actual MSP, what should be the right price upon a methodology. I'll discuss that also. Now, the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs of the Union Government takes the final decision on the level of MSP and other recommendations, which is made by CACP, that is Commission for Agriculture Cost and Prices. Now, how does they measure it? So there are fixed methodology upon which MSP is being calculated by CACP, that is the Commission for Agriculture Cost and Price. The three methodology, first is A2, A2FL and C2. In A2, it covers all cash and kind of expenses that is incurred by the farmer, that is seed, fertilizer prices, chemical prices, hired labor, fuel, irrigation, etc. This methodology is called A2. Now there's A2 plus FL, actual cost plus impetus of the value for unpaid family laborers. Then there's C2 methodology, which include A2 plus FL, right? Along with the revenues foregone on owned land, that is rent, and a fixed capital assessed, that is interest. So these are some of the methodology upon which the calculation is made by the CACP. Other news, Supreme Court asked government to develop modules on drugs abuse, something important for General Studies paper 2. Under the subtopic, government basically structure, organization and functioning of executive and judiciary. The Supreme Court has recently highlighted the drugs abuse case that's crippled the society, as the government has said that the elite departments such as National Investigation Agency and the Directorate of Revenue Intelligence were examining the ways to plug the loopholes and even to augment the preventive mechanism to counter the means of basically जो मेंसेस हो रही है नार्को टेरर एंगल को ध्यान में रखते हुए उसको लेकर के गवर्नमेंट की क्या स्टैंड है. द सुप्रीम कोर्ट हैज basically tried to get an idea how government is actually looking forward to curb this problem. Now, there was a suo motu case that was taken on the basis of the letter from the citizen of and the Supreme Court has highlighted an alarming increase in the drug abuse cases, specifically among the children and youth. Even for the states like Punjab, we have seen the cases, most of the cases were reported from Punjab. There's a severe cases of drugs abuse from Punjab, but across India, the cases are reported, but Punjab is among the state that has the highest number of the cases reported. Now, observations by the Supreme Court. Supreme Court ने क्या बातें कही अपनी observation में in this regard. The Chief Justice of India in his remark has said that the drug menace is gripping the society and we need to think of some kind of module ideas that can translate an order which can pass the government to have an entire situation. Basically, there should be a clear-cut criteria, a module, a procedures that has to be followed, right, by law enforcement agencies. Now, the court amicus curiae has said that the drugs menace has been taken into turn, who's following because of the COVID-19, right? So it has taken a worse turn even for the COVID-19 pandemic. The situation and the cases has been reported in the higher number. Now, people involved, pushers used, and took a dark web ideas of the drug. The distributions network has become more systematic, organized and widespread. Narcotic worth of 30,000 crore rupees has been seized in the past several months. And apart from the Supreme Court, the several High Court has also made their observation in this regard. So several High Court in past have taken the cognizance of the shadow cast by the drug mafia in the society. In 2020, Madras High Court has observed that the drugs abuse was one of the most triggered behind the commission of the heinous crime offences. And Kerala High Court has directed the state government to establish a campus of police unit in the educational institutions to protect basically all the students. Now, Punjab and Haryana court has also, for the time the hearing on the cases, has said that there is rampant cases of the drug problem in Punjab. Now, some cases that has been reported, talking about some of the states like Himachal Pradesh has 3.2% of the cases. For Delhi, this is 3.8, Sikkim 7.3, Odisha 4.5, and Maharashtra 0.5%. So these are the cases that were reported. And talking about the scale of the substance abuse in India, कौन सी ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जिसकी सबसे ज़्यादा basically जो drugs use किए जाते हैं. Alcohol is the most commonly used legal psychoactive substance that is used about 14% of the total population, right? उसके बाद cannabis है. In cannabis there is a bhang and charas that is there. Opioid, that is heroin, pharmaceutical and opium. There are some sedative drugs that is also being used. So these are the percentage of the uses. Now, talking about the high conviction rate in the drug related cases, you can see this number is increasing. The trend is higher. Even for 2019, the high number was seen, and also in the 17, the number was high. So for data for the current, that is for 21 and 22, we do not have data, but accordingly, you can anticipate how the graph is increasing. Now, the other news, that is Tamil Nadu House urged Centre not to implement the language panel report, something important for General Studies paper 2, that is functions and responsibility of union and state and issues and challenges pertaining to the federal structure. Recently, the Tamil Nadu Assembly adopted a resolutions against the imposition of Hindi and urged the centre not to implement the recommendations that was given by the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Official Language. Why Tamil Nadu is protesting? This is an important point to be noted. The parliamentary panel has recommended Hindi as a medium of instruction in all central institution of higher education, right? And Hindi speaking state में ये mandatory होनी चाहिए और regional languages वाले states में भी इसे implement करने की ज़रूरत है. Now, what is the Tamil Nadu government stand? The resolution which was passed by the Tamil Nadu government was piloted by the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, and he contended that the recommendations that were submitted to the President by the commissions against the state language include Tamil is also against the interest of the people who speak their language in the native state. So they wanted that it is again a bias to the people who actually has been studying in the native language for academic, basically for their higher education, for their academic, for throughout the years they have studied. So this will be biased for them as well for not continuing with the Tamil language. Now, the resolution was passed unanimously by the House, and the Chief Minister said that the Tamil Nadu has again been pushed to forefront, defend the mother language Tamil and keep English as an official language to preserve all 22 languages in India. Now, talking about the concern that was raised in the Tamil Nadu Assembly, the House has expressed the concern over the recommendations of the Parliamentary Committee now presented are against the two language, basically resolution policy moved by the government at that point of time, contrary to the promise that was made by the Prime Minister. And even for the non-Hindi speaking state, they are against English and official language that ensured the resolution which was passed way back in 1968 and 1976. So this is not a new debate that has arisen at this point of time. There have been several concerns with regards to the protections of the Tamil language in the state of Tamil Nadu. Now, talking about the official language of India, 8th schedule के अंदर हमारे संविधान के 8th schedule के अंदर कुछ list की गई है languages. There are 22 languages. These are the list of the languages that is already listed: Assamese, Bengali, Gujarati, Hindi, Kannada, Kashmiri, Konkani, Malayalam, Manipuri, Marathi, Nepali, Oriya, Punjabi, Sanskrit, Sindhi, Tamil, Telugu, Urdu, Bodo, Santhali, Maithili and Dogri. Many a times UPSC have also asked the question in this particular regard, which among the following languages is not a part of the schedule of Indian Constitution, 8 schedule के अंदर. तो इस तरह के सवाल कई competitive examination में पूछे जा सकते हैं. Make sure you know all of them. Moving to the other news, 6 spider species discovered across the country, something important for General Studies paper 3 under the topic Conservation, Environmental Pollution, Degradation and EIA. So recently, the analyst from the Center of Animal Technology and Ecology from the Crest College in Kerala, they have discovered new species of spider across the country. ये कुछ important locations हैं जहाँ से ये spiders found की गई है. The first location is Garo Hill in Meghalaya. There is Thar Desert of Rajasthan, Wildlife Sanctuary, Kottapatram Hill near Kottaglam, Thurbuji Butterfly Garden near Tarapalli, and University of Calicut campus. So these are some of the locations from which the actual spider were found. Now, new species that were found, study conducted in the Garo Hills resulted in the first spotting of the genus Sampunus from India. That is a new species that is found. The names are really tongue twister. You can have a try. Now, belonging to the family of the Fiat spider, Sinulopidae silver. This is again having a cervix of the rock on the head. A yellowish brown spider measuring 10 millimeter in length, and a black circle is found in the eye of a black patches which is there in the abdomen. तो ये कुछ कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फीचर्स हैं दैट इज रेलेवेंट इवन इफ क्वेश्चन इज आस्क्ड. कई बार इस तरह के सवाल भी स्पेसिफिकली कुछ कंसर्न्स एग्जाम में पूछे जाते हैं. Now the two spider that is coming from the family of jumping spider is there in the Thar in Rajasthan and Kutir forest in the wildlife sanctuary. Now there's other species in the Thar. This is called Afrophyclia melizorhinus. This is characterized by the white hairs and black hairs and the black horizontal lines. Thin spider strays among the dry leaf plate, and white knight species में कुछ और variety पाई गई हैं, which is again the patches with eye and white hairs in the abdomen. This spider lives in most of the deciduous forest in Kuchiyat of particular forest that is residing in the area. Now, feathers leading spiders, the next spider species lacks venom gland that belongs to the family of feathers, and the new species has been there due to the presence of breed-like structure for the male reproductive system. Spiny-legged spider, this is again a new variety. Two species from this spider was found, and this was discovered from the Thurbuji Butterfly Garden near Athirapalli in Kerala and Calicut University campus. Now moving to the other news, making of Sabka Vikas, something important for general studies paper 2, welfare schemes for the vulnerable section of the population by the center and the state government. So in this editorial, we'll be looking into the important theme. The first theme is inclusive development and financial inclusion. We'll understand this editorial with some important subheads, which include vision and approach, financial inclusion program, progress report, merits of DBT, which include rural India and urban India, and the way forward. First, we start with the background. Recently, the International Monetary Fund, that is IMF, has lauded India for their direct benefit transfer. And it says that this scheme is a logistic marvel that reached hundreds of millions of people and benefited both women, elderly, farmer, and basically the beneficiary that should be there. Now, the president of World Bank Group has also urged the national to adopt the targeted approach of cash transfer, which will not only broaden the scope, but will also benefit the larger section of the society. Right? It has made a remarkable progress where 85% of the rural household and 69% of the urban household benefited from the schemes. Now, talking about the vision and approach of the government, so the complex and multi-layered government machinery, that is diversity, access barrier, digital divide that can fail a noble scheme unless building blocks are not effectively addressed. This is for sure. If you want to make any program success, अगर आपको success करना, you need to have a proper strategy and implementation part of that, right? So this was done in this particular regard. And DBT की अगर बात करें, that would not have possible once the size and scale of the country is there. So the government has used its machinery and even implemented the process in the right direction. Now, the ambitious vision, that is the holistic approach of multi-pronged strategy, has enabled the DBT ecosystem to deliver impact at a phenomenal size. Now, financial inclusions की अगर बात करें, the program that was led by the government of India started way back in 2014. The government has embarked an ambitious, well-structured financial inclusion program, and this program aims for a household where they have a from formal to the fold, and where it was basically the aim was to ensure a financial network and financial inclusions, right? Now, the mission mode approach, it endeavored to open a bank account for the household, expanding the Aadhaar and scale up the coverage of the banking system. खास करके अगर बात करें public financial management system, it has also created the Aadhaar payment system where it has helped the people a lot. The Aadhaar enabled payment system and unified, that is UPI, has further expanded the interoperability and private sector participations. Now, talking about the progress report in 2022, 135 crore Aadhaar has been generated and 47 crore beneficiaries were under the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. 6.5 lakh bank mitras delivered the bankless banking services to the rural India. And this amount to 120 crores people. And the DBT has reached commanding heights to achieve a government with Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, that inclusive development for all. The government agenda for inclusive development has 318 schemes and 35 central ministry expanding across where goals and vast geography of the country is considered. Now, talking about the merits of the DBT program, the efficacy of the robustness of the DBT program are witnessed during the pandemic. It aided the government to reach the last milestone to the people who are actually not benefited. And during lockdown, government has come up with the scheme where they have revamped it also. Now, free ration were provided to 80 crores people under Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. And the other schemes also include the supports to the small vendors, that is PM Swanidhi, and DBT has helped the vulnerable during the time of pandemic. The DBT has substantially contributed both for the rural and urban population. We'll see each one by one for the rural and other for the urban population. Rural India की अगर बात करें, where it has allowed the government to provide financial assistance transparency to the farmer and even call for scheme which include PM Kisan Nidhi, PM Fasal Bima Yojana and PM Krisi Sinchai Yojana. This scheme has become a backbone for supporting the farmer of agriculture economy. The benefits received under the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act has provided further distributions for the public distribution system and rural demand supply chain. Now, in urban area, there was a scheme called PM Awas Yojana LPG Pahal scheme that has successfully called for the DBT transfer for the eligible beneficiaries. Various schemes and national social assistance were provided. Now, DBT under the rehabilitation programs such as self-employment, rehabilitation and manual screener has opened the frontiers that enable the mobility of this section of the society. Now, way forward की अगर बात करें, DBT approach is expected to expand further, structure and continues to have a measure governance for the more nuanced targeted towards improving the ease of living. And the digital financial literacy, robust grievances redressal, enhancing the awareness, empowering the innovation system and some of the aspects that continue to have a focus. It would play a vital role for India in meeting the diverse need and population and ensuring a balanced, equitable and inclusive growth. So this is how the way forward can be concluded. Now moving ahead with the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday's questions. For first question, the correct option is C. For second question, the correct option is C again. Today's MCQ for practice. Financial Action Task Force के बारे में आपको बताना है. FATF is an intergovernmental body. Its objective is to set standard, promote effective intergovernmental implementation of legal, regulatory, operational measures, and combating the money laundering and financial terror financing. So do check it out for the correct option. Second question of the day: Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement is between India, Mauritius, India, Sri Lanka, India, Japan, and India and Maldives. So do check it out for the correct option. This was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis, followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.